Hi everyone, it is the Charming Giraffe, and today we are mixing paint, making sure I got all the tools I need before we get started here. And I apologize if I am sniffly in the video, just fair warning. I do plan to mix up all this paint. I don't think I will subject you to all of it, so because it's just the same process over and over again for each color. So we're going to get started on the white because I have a system. I'll tell you what that is, just so if you guys find yourself using so many supplies to mix paint, here's a couple of tricks. So the first thing I do is I lay everything out. So here's all the big bottles and here's all the bottles they go in. And then I decide on what order I'm going to mix paint in, because right now I'm out of everything. If I'm only out of one, I'll just mix the one. But right now there's no white, there's no yellow, no neon yellow, no true red, no true blue, no purple, no black, no silver. Everything's out. And so I'm actually only going to use 4 cups to mix all this paint, because I'm going to use the white to mix the white. And then when I'm done with that and put it in its bottle, I'm going to use the same cup for both yellows. And then I'm going to use a cup for the red, a cup for the blue and the purple, which you could probably take this out and do red, and then mix up blue, and then put more red to make your purple. But I'm going to use 3. And then when I'm done with the purple, I'll mix the black, because it's just going to be dark anyways. And then I got a clean cup for the silver, which technically I might be able to like stick this in here, but I don't want my yellow sparkly. So you may hear thunder. It is raining outside. And then the other thing I do, I'm probably going to just talk a bunch, but the other thing I do, I've started doing, just because of the quality of some of the latest work that I've had, or in the past that I've had, is I will also strain everything once it's done. So I'm mixing it in a cup, and then I will strain it into another plasticky cup, and then I'll pour that into the bottle. And that's just to get some of the larger chunks out. You see in all the videos, I pull chunks out of all the paint. So this is a way to get some of those out ahead of time, less babying once you're doing the paintings, especially if you're doing a little spree painting, binge painting, then that helps. So we'll get started. The ratio is approximately, and I don't measure anything. Maybe if I did, I would be more consistent, but right now I'm not measuring. Is about 25% paint to 75% Floetrol, and then water to consistency. So we're getting started. I did shake the bottle of Floetrol before. This is the bottle we use. I use. Lots of us use. And then all of this is Floetrol, Artist Loft Floetrol. Everything that we're mixing here today. Which, like I said, you may not see all of it, just for your own sanity. More than anything. Sometimes I use gloves if I get a little splashy. But for right now, we're just going to try without it. I've also mixed them in the bottle, where I just squeeze it directly into the bottle, pour the Floetrol directly into the bottle, and then just shake it. It works really well. It's just harder to show you the amounts when I'm doing that, because it's even hard for me, especially on the dark bottles. You can see like the paint line there, and then I'll open it and kind of watch. Like, I know I want this much paint, and just watch it, because I can see it. Can you see kind of my finger in there? Let's see. There you go. So I just watch it pour to where I need to go. How far up the bottle I need to go, but it is harder to show you that on camera. So, and if I do that, it is easier because there's not stirring. It's just shaking. So it is easier to do it that way, but then I don't get to strain it. And if I do, I have to strain it into another bottle or something, which isn't a problem. I have plenty. Doing it this way works just fine, and I can show you better. I'm not setting it on the table. Hopefully you guys can still see, just because it'll shake you. So I'm just holding it. We will probably fast forward through this part. Alright. So for now we're going to call that mixed. It'll mix itself as it strains, and then we can shake it in the bottle as needed. We're probably going to need a couple of these just because I want to strain it all first, and then we can pour it into the bottle. This is definitely an extra step that you don't have to do. I just would rather do it now than have a bunch of chunks in the paintings later. You got that cup full. Like extra, extra, extra full. Don't know if you can see that on the camera. I'll show you here in a second. Come on. Let's try not to make a huge mess, just a little one. When you're stirring and all of the above, you do want to make sure you scrape the sides and the bottom. One, you want to make sure it gets mixed, and when you're doing this, you don't want to waste any. So. Looks pretty good. Alright. And that only had like one really big chunk and some random pieces of dust, so that works out good. You do want to rinse your strainer after each color, otherwise the color will mix in with your next color. And then next we're just pouring this in here. Nothing special when it comes to this one. It may look chunky, either my strainer isn't doing its job or those are actually just air bubbles. And we still will always get a few chunks in the painting that we'll have to pick out or ignore. I'm not worried. It's just an extra step that I like to do when I have time. If I don't have time, then I don't worry about it. So it's not a must. It's really just preference. I think we're going to do this because I'm not the neatest person when it comes to this part. I know if I would have tried that, we would have gotten paint everywhere. then put the lid on it. And check it. And that's done. Ready to use. So we'll get started on the next one. I'm going to go rinse everything real quick so we'll be ready. So I will be right back. Alright, we are back. And we are going to start with just the regular yellow. The only other thing I can think of right now to advise is watch your amounts. For example, let's say that I had half a bottle or a little bit more in here. You don't want to fill the cup up all the way because then you won't be able to fit it all into the bottle. Because I've done that. I really try to keep up with paint mixing, mixed paint preparation, just because I would much rather do it as needed than like a day like this where I'm doing everything all at once. Just because I really enjoy painting, and this is a necessary thing to do in order to paint. But it's not painting. You don't have a pretty painting when you're done with this step. You just have water. You just have bottles full of paint ready to use. So I do like to, if I'm done with a painting and I see that my black's low or whatever, I try to go ahead and take care of it then versus ignoring it until I absolutely have to have it again. And also play with your mixes, with your ratios. I think with different ratios, with different paints, your ratios are definitely going to be different depending on the type of paint you use. This is a very thick paint, so you're going to need more Floetrol and more water to thin it out versus some of the other paints. But your when you actually go to do a painting, the way you do your ratios will impact how your paintings come out. So if you don't like what your paintings are turning out to be, you're not getting enough cells or you're getting too many cells, just change your consistency. And sometimes I intentionally will put like a heavier paint or one that's not mixed as liquidy, like this one. I think it's this one. I don't know where it all went because I haven't been using it because I just don't like it very much. I've been thinning it out and thinning it out and thinning it out. It's this one here, guys. You've probably seen me talk about it on videos, but it's thicker. It's not as liquidy as I like it, but in some of the paintings I've done, I liked the outcome of that, and vice versa. So that's how I'm just experiment and see what you get and what you like. We'll use that one, and let's get this open. And if you don't know, like I'm getting X and I don't like X, I want Y. Just ask. Go to videos, ask on my video, ask on other people's videos. We can do our best to help you. I will do my best to help you with my knowledge of it. I can definitely say I've asked when I needed help in the past. You can get you what you need, what your desire is here when it comes to the painting. Okay, we're going to do this a little bit more, less wasteful, I guess is the right word there. Non-neon. Okay, just making sure I'm getting all my bottles right. Oh, that stick has yellow paint all over it now. I guess I will just have to get messy. You guys know how much I don't like to do that. Pretty sure I mention it on every video, so. Alright, so we're just going to keep doing this back and forth. I'll probably just speed up a bunch of it so that you guys don't have to watch the same process 1,000 times over. And then we'll come back to sign off. We're back to do our last couple here. I will speed up part of this since you've seen a majority of them. I did just do the blue. I was using a different app to do it, and of course it fails. It stopped responding, so you won't see blue. But before we speed it up here, blue is the reason I started straining the paint. And in the video, I show you why. Let me see if I have any evidence left. Making sure we're actually recording. In the strainer, can you guys see all those little chunks? And it stopped straining because there were so many chunks in here that I actually had to like dig some out, and they're like all over the place now. But I actually had to take this and scrape it as I'm trying to pour the paint to strain it because there were so many little chunks in it. There was a blue painting I did, I think around about Halloween, because there was an orange one that I did at the exact same time. I did them back to back, and I searched that painting to make sure there wasn't any, because I know how picky the blue is, or how chunky, to use a better word, the blue is. And so I looked and looked. It didn't look bad at all. And then whenever it dried, there was like, it was just like covered in chunks. So it kind of looks okay. Just because of the pure quantity of them. It looks like that's what you're going for. Even though it wasn't. But yeah. The blue is definitely the problem child when it comes to the chunkiness of the paint, at least this batch of blue I have. But we're going to start on the purple. We'll see how this turns out. I might have to manipulate, because as you saw, I don't have purple. I make the purple be a blue and red. It's really pretty right now. It's not the same purple that's in that canister, since I make it myself. I don't think it ever turns out the same two colors, but that is beautiful. So, here we go. Don't know when the camera went off, but we're done with the black. So, yeah. One last to go. It'll be the silver. I will go ahead and sign off here. I won't subject you to another one. But that's about it. You saw the general process. I try to lay everything out just so I hopefully have everything I need. Not running around like crazy trying to find stuff, because I do that enough. Put in the paint, put in the Floetrol, mix, strain, pour into the bottle. That's really all it is to it. Not the funnest part of painting for me, at least, but necessary setup preparation. So if you have any questions for me about how I paint, or about how I mix my paint, or anything else painting related, I would be happy to help as I can. Just leave a comment in the comments, message in the comments, or on my Instagram at The Charming Draft. That's probably the best way to contact me. That's the one I'm on the most and check the most frequently. If you have an Instagram, otherwise use it on the YouTube, and I will get to you as soon as I can. I do want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day, and do what makes you happy.